Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the season premiere of Outlander, Soul of a Rebel. Let's see here. Yes. So, we are still continuing on the whole faith bit. We have not seen any kind of repercussions of Claire's parents being alive earlier, with like Blood of My Blood and everything. But we'll probably see some kind of ramifications, maybe, if they're going to continue on with this. So, we'll kind of have to see. The main crux deals with Jamie and Claire, and then also the second crux deals with William Ransom and everything kind of going on with that. It's kind of a setup kind of thing, but it takes up more of the episodes, and seems to be like the second central plot of what's kind of going to be going on. So, we'll have to see how that works out. Now, I am not against anything with William Ransom. My biggest issue is we have 10 episodes here. We have a lot of ground to cover, and we don't know what else is kind of going on. Even having read the summaries of the other kind of books, they are going to have to shoehorn in a lot of fucking shit, and also in a degree of trying to figure out what they are attempting to do with Diana Gabaldon's ending, since she hasn't finished the final book. Now, we are potentially having something here that I will bring up that you're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Now, if you look at my channel, I also review animes. Why do I bring this up? Well, this is a thing that also happens within animes as well, i.e. that they catch up to the manga and either have to go into filler mode, or they write their own anime original ending, which seems to be somewhat kind of being the case here. We kind of definitely had that with Game of Thrones of the outlines there, but we kind of had to do it and execute it our own way because fucking shit. This is another instance of where we see that. The biggest kind of example is the anime Full Metal Alchemist. The first series came out and the manga was not finished yet. Then we got Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which was a faithful adaptation of the completed manga at that point. And it was like, okay, but the thing is, both of the series are still pretty good, in my opinion. They just do different kind of objectives of themes and everything that kind of go on. But we'll have to see how that works out here, because they're still going on this whole faith thing, which hasn't even kind of been any kind of thing in the books, which could create vast different kind of changes. We also had these kind of changes in Game of Thrones because Catelyn Stark came back at a certain point as like a fire white, which is what I'm just going to term it. Like, Beric Dondarrion passed his fire shit to her, and she was going around the Riverlands killing fucking shit. And you're like, what the fuck are you going on about? Just what changes are kind of going off, because we start off in this them going after the people that fucked over Fanny and Jane and Faith. And we see that he's pretty much doing this kind of whiskey deal and trying to get information from this Vasquez dude. And he's like, yeah, those girls would sell, but the mother went fucking crazy, so I kicked her ass overboard. And Claire's like, you bastard, and fucking like shanks his ass. Jamie kills the other. He's like, well, yeah, I was probably going to get to that point anyway, but whatever. And then they kind of are trying to deal with the fact that the daughter that they mourned was out there and alive. Trying to figure out if Mother Hildegard was kind of involved, but the thing is, this creates so many different kind of things of like, okay, you're going to look at me kind of weird, but run with me on this. Either, like, this was a one-off thing, or they were doing this in some kind of thing of that somebody has to have a supply of dead babies because they buried a baby. Or at least there was a dead baby that Claire was holding, and some nun had to deal with that dead baby. And it's like, is this some kind of scheme or whatnot? Where do you get access to just rando dead babies to do this kind of shit for? It's just, sorry, logistically, like, the dude of logistics, or dudette, guy, any person of logistics kind of thing. It's my kind of thing that my mom and I kind of went with, logistics? Logistically, the person in charge of the logistics is just like, how do you fucking do this shit? And it's like, alright, let me try and figure out how you do this shit. And then your inner logistically is like, I'll get this shit done. It just, like, rattled me of, like, you creating problems of, like, and then, of course, bringing up Master Raymond and seeing that and being, like, hoping that their daughter was loved and everything like that. I'm like, she evidently got married and had, like, kids and shit, so you'd think. But you never know what people would think about in their head of what's kind of going on, but they're trying to kind of deal with it and all that and think about it. But we see that it's in Savannah, Georgia in 1779, so we're pretty deep into the Revolution, doing all the different kind of stuff that's kind of going on, and they finally check in on Fergus, and his family's all kind of cute and everything. We see Henry Christensen and, or like, oh, okay, not Christensen, Henry Christian, and he's just being all cute and everything. Their family is like exploded to shit, and then of course Claire's being like great grandma's like, breakfast cookies, and Jamie's like, yeah, I'll eat all 36 of these motherfuckers. Like, you can get, I count when it's important, motherfucker, and talking about like how they would do that with sheep, like count all the legs, divide by 4. It's like, yeah, but you know the math for the cookies, man. It's like, listen, you do some weird Highlander shit, but you know your baked goods, motherfucker. I respect it. I respect. Of course, he then checks in with how Fergus is doing, having to watch out with, like, the British taking over and all that. But, of course, Jamie's going around knocking and saying that he is doing stuff for the Revolution and all of that. And he says that he's got to be careful because he's got a family. He's like, yeah, but the thing is, I'm ready to die for this kind of thing. And sometimes you got to stand up to this shit. I'm like, yeah, there you go, man. So they just had a nice kind of check-in, getting down from all that, and then getting back to Fraser's Ridge and all that. Taking Fanny there. It's like, yeah, you've been in Fraser's Ridge for a good bit. She's like, God damn. And the thing is, I don't mind Fanny's actress. It's just, people, it takes so long to make a show anymore. Shows, movies, video games. It's fucking insane where the kid's like, holy fuck, how many years have really passed? You gotta, like, do some weird fucking arithmetic on this. The worst bit is when you get to Stranger Things. After a certain point, you can kind of stop because then it's like it gets to over and even kind of worse than Harry Potter. At least they were able to at least keep up enough with it. It's just strange. It's like, I understand that, like, a year's kind of a long time for, like, someone that's trying to be, like, a teenager or whatnot. So you really want to kind of get on that and all that and make sure that they don't look like they've aged 30 fucking years because it took you 30 fucking years to do this shit. But they get there. They're trying to plan out what's going on. Of course, young Ian pops up and like, hey, everybody. Hey. Come on, yeah. Rachel's doing good and all that. Got to check everything out. And we get to the new house. And they evidently tore down the stables for the one and built everything. And everybody chipped in and all that. And we see them kind of work around and everything like that. And I was like, oh, okay. My mom had a different kind of vision for it because of what she read in the books, that it was supposed to be kind of grander and everything like that. It's still kind of in the we're trying to finish it up kind of phase. We see Claire's surgery. We see them get in with Rachel and all that. And we're like, yeah, you got your 2 first patients here and everything. And they're like, all right, cool. We don't have the kitty back yet. I would like the cat to kind of show up and be like, hey, motherfucker. They stop in with Crombie and see his kind of like trading post and everything, checking in with everybody. The one woman that's got like the 2 fucking husbands, seeing her little girl that's called Claire and all that. Seeing everybody kind of else. It's been a while, so I'm kind of like, I should have like seen some kind of stuff going on with the other ones, because they did a kind of season kind of marathon kind of going on, mainly of just the last one. But they kind of check in with everybody, see how everything's doing. Seeing that Crombie's got this new dude, Cunningham, that is part of it, and they call him Captain and everything. We see Jamie and they're like, oh, okay, let me kind of like walk with you and everything. And they're like, oh yeah, talking about him referring to him as General. I was like, yeah, I kind of resigned my commission. I'm good, man. It was like, oh yeah, and then he was a captain in the British, and that they would fought against each other on the battlefield recently too. I was like, okay. Jamie's like, all right, but he's definitely Sam Hewen does a great job of being like, Jamie's like, oh, all right, I'm not gonna blow my shit in this moment, but I'm gonna keep an eye on you, motherfucker. Let's hit all of the Jamie and Claire and Brianna and Roger stuff first, and then we'll get to William Ransom. It takes up enough of the time, but it's small enough that we can handle it. So they're thinking like that. They also no, that's when that's of course where they're working with the one. They also were going to be getting Jesuit bark. Cunningham's kind of dealing with that. Like, yeah, I'll get that to you. Get that to you. It's like, all right. They get back to the big house. They're kind of dealing with the one woman that's got like the two husbands, and then of course we see someone say hello house, and we see that's of course where Roger, Brianna, and Jem and Mandy pop in, and they're like, oh god, yay, it's all kind of cool. They're just kind of working out. Brianna was like frying some things at a certain point. They start gifting certain kind of things. Jamie reading this picture book that is one of Mandy's favorites, and Fanny's like, holy fucking shit, that thing's fucking awesome. It's like, yeah, you kids go over there, Jem, you kind of read it to them, and be kind of cool with that. It's like, you think that'll do anything? I'm like, at this point with time travel, I mean, we've seen different kind of objects and also people, like, involved. At this point, I wouldn't even truly fucking worry about it, because there's some kind of rules or laws that kind of keep the natural bent of history for certain kind of things, so don't worry about it too much. Giving Jamie Lord of the Rings, I'm like, damn it, you also need to give him The Hobbit. It's like, but I would is it kind of weird that I would almost want a web series of like Jamie's reactions to the Lord of the Rings? I mean, that'd be just a cute little thing, like everything, because it's like Jem and Roger's favorite books, and I'm like, yeah. But that's of course where Brianna also pulls out The Soul of a Rebel, written by Frank, and it's like, yeah, this talks about she couldn't get past the cover because it was written by the person that she knows is her father. She's lucky enough to actually have two dads, which is actually pretty cool. Sometimes you get that kind of cool thing going on where you got those kind of people in your life, with like Jamie being her father and Frank being her father. And it's like, yeah, Jamie's mentioned in this, is like, all right, let's see. And that's one of the big kind of cruxes, that he is supposed to die in a certain kind of battle, and what's kind of going to be going on. Is that going to be the case? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Sorry, I talked about anime, throw that shit out there. But that's the biggest kind of mystery that's kind of going on here, and what we're trying to figure out. And we see him kind of dealing with it, like, then actually seeing the back thing, back cover flap, that Frank looked like Blackjack, and asking why Claire never told him about that. And it was a good kind of adult kind of conversation, where it's not like, you bitch, why didn't you tell me? And not like Jerry Springer kind of shit. It's like, nah, fuck you, motherfucker. It's more like, I was kind of surprised at first, but then I kind of dealt with it because he wasn't really Frank. So, and then by that point, it was so far removed and everything else that we were dealing with. It's like, it really didn't matter much, so I didn't really bring it up. I was like, cool, no problems. But he's mentioned me 14 times in this motherfucking thing. It's like, yeah. At that point, he would probably be like, you motherfucker. But also probably figuring out that Claire would have gone back at that point. So it's like, okay. It's when time travel's involved. It's like, holy fucking shit. Let's see. We do get that the Cunningham's mother pops off, and she is an asshole. Full ass, no stop. Delivering the Jesuit bark and being an asshole to Mandy, and Mandy's like, you the wicked witch. Fly off, bitch. And then she smacks her, and Jamie's like, I ain't talking to that. And like, you all are going to hell. It's like, fuck you, bitch. We also get that Jamie is kind of talking to Roger to try and figure out kind of what he wants to do in the community, because he was a minister kind of thing kind of going on before, asking what was kind of going on when he went back into the future. He's like, I don't know. So it looks like Roger's going to be trying to figure himself out. We also see that Jamie and Brianna kind of like are going off hunting, and then finding someone is hanged with GR, George King. So they were probably loyalists. It's like, shit. He's like, there's demons on both sides. It's like, yeah, there's some people that do some crazy ass shit. So you have to fucking deal with all that and kind of going on at the Ridge. So yeah, you might have gotten out of the certain kind of battle portions of the Revolution, but you are still going to have to deal with some shit, man. So we'll have to see how that kind of works and shakes out. It's me, like, if the actual command structure of the Revolutionary Army does actually have any kind of problem with what Jamie did. They're a bunch of asshole tools and need to fucking, like, go pop off. Like, if you put any of the other generals in front and be like, listen, I just saw, okay, you brought your wife to the battlefield. She gets shot. What you gonna do? Exactly what you did. All right, then. Moving along. You know, like, if anyone's like, no, I wouldn't, you would look at that asshole and you'd be like, you a fuck. Step off. You lie like a motherfucker. If it wasn't your wife or someone you love or someone you know, and you're like, they got fucking shot, I kind of want to help them real quick. You're like, there ain't anything I can do. It's like, well, get Denzel and fucking walk his ass through it and fix me up. Let's see. Those are the pretty main portions there. William pretty much getting back and kind of drunk, and Lord John trying to deal with that, and he's got like a baby. He's like, who the fuck is that? It's like, Trevor. Benjamin's son. William's cousin. And who can... Okay, you don't have that, but tell me who the Fraggle Rockin' Fuckity Doodah. Okay, that's episodes. Can I get a cast? She's mainly referred to as Lady Grey. No. Rachel Hunter. Cunningham. Well, fuck me, I guess. Fucking tells me the other ones, but not the Lady Grey. Alright. This is pretty much bringing up this whole kind of thing of... Okay, this is the dude that really impressed William Ransom. Someone that he looked up to, and he's dead. And he's like, what the fuck? And John's trying to kind of tease out the last time he kind of talked to him. He's like, I don't know, how the fuck is he married and how is there a fucking kid? The kid is cute. Baby, fucking on point. Just turn around, it's like, yeah, it's like Henry Christian. Like, it's like, yeah, cute kids. I'm like, oh god. But then we see stuff of like from the rest of the season. I'm like, oh god, please. Like, if there's anything, I hope they change Henry Christian's fate. And don't go there. But they made that kid cute too. And I'm like, you bastards. Fuck shit. So we'll see if that throws around as well. But Ransom's like, who the fuck is this woman? He's like, hey, stop being an asshole toward me. You don't even know me. Yeah, that's kind of the point. But he's also kind of like hung over his shit. And the thing is, he was trying to pretty much ascertain information on Richardson? Yes, Ezekiel Richardson. The dude who was pretty much trying to like kidnap like Lord John and fucking do stupid ass shit. Try and pretty much weasel his way into higher influence within the British court. So William's trying to like find that shit, and of course it's kind of linked to kind of like Jane and all that. Pardon me. So he kind of is going out. We see him do Hair of the Dog for William, and it's like, listen, follow me to do stuff. He's like, what if I don't want to be the Earl of Ellesmere and all that kind of stuff? He's like, all right, stop being an asshole. Fucking pick what you want to do, man. I'm like, He's like, I'm not supposed to be. Can I renounce my title? You can't do that shit. And it's like, you said that it could be stripped, so you're... I don't know what they're going to go with this story-wise, but the way Lord John laid it out, I'm like, William, if you take 2 seconds to understand this shit, if you fucking go with the revolution, you can get your shit stripped, and you're just golden if you want to go that route. I'm like, if you're going to be that petulant, like, teenager, I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker! You could go that route. And I'm just like, John, no, I'm not. But maybe William was like too drunk to or too hung over to kind of understand that. Because he wanted him to kind of go with like this kind of dude, try and maybe get him back into the British Army, maybe if he wanted to, since he'd resigned his commission. But he's like, you were acting rude to Lady Grey. It's like, alright. And he goes out to apologize to her because he was really in shock that Ben was dead, and makes pretty nice with her. I don't know if this is going to be another kind of love interest, but she wants him to be friendly enough to tell Trevor what his father was like, man-to-man kind of thing. And it's like, okay. And they had a pretty good kind of scene chemistry together and everything. Again, I don't hate the actors or even these storylines. We don't have that much time because they're like, it's the final season. And I'm like, you got 10 episodes. normally you should have, like, normally, depending upon what's going on with the show and what stories you're about to tell, you should consistently stay as long as possible with what's going on. You start it with 16, you should kind of stick to 16, barring any kind of weird kind of things. Not completely and utterly shorten them to the point where you're like, fuck. I mean, that kind of also happened in Game of Thrones. It's like, listen, sure, it's nice to have a longer episode every once in a while, but don't go double long or whatnot. Don't do fucking Stranger Things. Because it's like, okay, sometimes it gets a little bit too long and you don't know what the fuck to do because it throws off the pacing. Making an hour long of TV is different than making 30 minutes and is different than making 2 hours or 90 minutes. If you don't know what's going on, like, for all the stuff that Marvel's TV shows get, they definitely feel like chopped up movies in a certain respect, in certain kind of starting cases, and that completely throws off your flow. If you're not binging it, you're like, ah, shit, and it's like, oh god, this feels stretched. Oh god, it feels stretched and chopped up. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, because you're not building it as a TV show. You're just fucking, whoa. So, we'll see what kind of goes on here. It seems that he's going to explore who killed Ben and why, and what's kind of going on there, and what he feels, and what he wants to do, and exploring his heritage. That's cool. I'm good with that. I'm just like, is this going to take away time from Jamie and Claire and Bree's story? And I'm like, this is the final season. It should mainly deal with that. If anything, William Ransom stuff should be tangential or its own kind of show to kind of deal with that. I would have been fine if they decided to be like, this is the end of Jamie and Claire's story, and fucking maybe Thunder punted out. I mean, you fucking did a prequel one. Do Roger and Claire stuff and maybe do whatever story stuff they need. And then do one. Fuck, you could even do miniseries. Just bring that shit back. It's a one-off. Or just one season. Oh, you could do that. If you're gonna, like, experiment with shit, just fucking do that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think a lot of Outlander people would be, like, that miffed if it's like, oh, okay. Because you have people that are fans of Lord John Grey. It's like, okay, it's a beefy enough thing. I think it could handle it on its own. Now, will you get everyone that is interested in Outlander for it? Not necessarily. So, adjust your expectations for the audience retention and kind of go for it. If it's a good and interesting story and you're going to go for it pretty well, go for it that way. That's my thing. I don't hate what's going on. I'm just like, what are we going on here with this? The Faith and Master Raymond thing, I would have just been actually fine if they had just dropped it. Like, I'm not normally one of those people, but I'm like, this just muddies up so much stupid shit and makes me think of, like, a dead baby exchange operation that just doesn't need to be fucking here, man. Why are we doing this? What did we do? Why are, like, it's almost the opposite of, like, I've seen this tree before. It's like, why the fuck am I here in Panama with these weird-ass fucking trees? I was over here. What the fuck, man? Okay. So, it'll be weird to see how the balancing goes out. As long as it's executed well enough and sticks the landing for whatever kind of goes on with Jamie and Claire, alright. I don't mean to knock down the other ones, but if that one gets fucked up, that's my anchor point. And I think most people's anchor points. If you kind of fuck up Bree, Roger, and William, I think you'd have less of a, like, it'd be more like, you wasted my time on this shit and what was kind of going on. But I at least got my thing for what's going on and who lives, who dies, what the fuck goes on with Jamie and Claire. So, we've got 9 episodes left. Let's see what goes on. So, those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.